Welcome to ChillBuzz Radio, where we shed light on the deep, dark truth of New York City and the surrounding world around it.
All around.
I'm DJ Luca Knight. I'm here with my boy Freeway Frankie. Pleasure to be here in your house, here in my favorite borough, Brooklyn, New York. No disrespect to my neighbors up in the Boogie Down Bronx, but it's just
that
more
Boogie Down is real,
here, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
That Boogie Down is definitely real. It is a deterrent because everybody ain't trying to get down, get funky like that.
Right.
I'm definitely glad to be a part of this podcast, to be jumping on to something that's so powerful already as it is.
And
you know,
it wasn't easy. It took a lot to build this. You know, me and Marty, God rest his soul, busted our ass to make this something. Me and you went on a pretty big journey tonight just to make this happen. I did some asshole move. I rushed out of my house. I thought I had everything I needed. I forgot this MIDI cable. I brought all this equipment down here.
Which happens.
Like, or on the train, by the way, because I don't front like I have a car. I would have a car if it wasn't for this pandemic, but because I had more income back then. But you know, like now everyone's struggling. But because of that, like we didn't have the MIDI wire. Luckily, I know someone who I'm like making a beat for, like not too far. And we ended up going to get that, but it was just a hassle because here in New York, it's supposed to be the city that doesn't sleep at all. But since this pandemic happened, actually past the peak, which I don't really understand, it doesn't run 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., which is bullshit. It made the journey crazy, you know, like cabs like bullshitting us, like a cab company named All People Cab Service didn't want to come here because it was like a little hood. Meanwhile, they're only like a mile away. I didn't understand that. Yeah. You know, and then that other guy who basically like just
picked
tried
us
to
up
beat
off
us
the side of the
head.
street because he seen we were desperate. Yeah, man, shit is crazy. And I feel like a lot of these taxi cab drivers, they know what time it is. They know these trains are running late night. Even the homeless people can't stay in the train station. The shit is unprecedented.
And they take advantage.
Advantage,
but
man.
We did it. We
seen
took
it
a
firsthand.
cab. We took a train. We got to the spot. My man's left the MIDI cable under a fucking garbage can. Shout out to AO Artificial,
shot the
light
picture
boy.
And everything.
Like, I'm working on your beat. That's just gonna be fire. Like, I wouldn't be able to have this recording if you didn't lend me that wire. You know, so
so because of you, here we are.
Yes, and this shit's gonna be lit. A lot of things have happened. I made a good few recordings since episode 5, but I had to keep like trying to redo it because the time's been changing too much, you know? Like the pandemic's been up. It was up, then it came down, and now it's kind of going back up all over the place. And all these riots happen. Like literally, I did
crime waves.
I did
crazy
episodes 6 and 7 with 2 featured people right before all the riots, and then the day that I'm producing those to get them out, there's fucking helicopters over my house because I live in the Fordham area, as I've said before, and it was just crazy. Like that's where it all went down. It was chaos. Like all the stores were boarded up for weeks after that shit, you know. And now it's happening all over the country. In Oregon, like all this crazy shit happened. They're trying to defund the police and burn courthouses and cop cars, and I just feel bad for the small businesses because they don't deserve that shit. You know, what did they do? Are they the police? No, they're not. Like they're just like making a living, and people take advantage of it in all different types of ways. You know, it's just so much shit going on. You know, like I don't even know how relevant this will be by the time it gets dropped because the world is changing so much. You know,
so much.
Like I feel like just last week, New York it sucked. I'm thinking this is the worst place in the world to be. And I've actually hid from watching the news. And I watch the news and I see that everywhere that was good when New York was fucked up is bad now.
They're going through it,
including where you're from in Florida.
From Florida, The thing about Florida,
man. Vacation to Florida.
Yeah. And I was out there for like a week. That was maybe within like a month ago. And it was a good time, you know. It was like a family thing. Really, not even, it was more than a family thing for me. It was just rejuvenating myself, grounding myself, you know. Coming back home was pretty big for me. It reminded me, you know, a lot of what Floridians are about, which is fuck it. You know what I mean?
Floridians? I've never heard. Oh, that's Florida people. Okay.
Yeah, Florida people. So like Floridians, flamingos, whatever it may be. But yeah, they, and by they, like, I mean us, but me by extension, like, don't give a fuck about anything that they're supposed to give a fuck about. I go to Fort Myers Beach, which is basically like where I grew up. Spent so much time out there on the beach, and there were people everywhere, and there's not a single mask out there. If you were to wear a mask, you probably get jumped and hazed just on the beach. And I went out there with my brother, you know what I mean? We decided, like, if shit is the way it is, we got to go out and we got to do something just before I leave. So we go out to the beach and we see this bar. Everybody's out there, no mask or nothing like that. And
this is
fucked
while
up as it
it's
is.
like bad.
This is while it's bad, yeah.
This is while it was bad.
Yeah.
It's even worse now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Imagine
now.
what that's like now. But
there's still people. I knew that they wouldn't, but people down there still are just. It's not hitting them. It's not having any effect on just the lifestyle. You know, people are shutting businesses down, the ones that they can. Was there a lot of protesting and all that out there? Not when I went down there. I heard about protests that went on. My friend told me that they were supposed to burn down one of the malls in my hometown, but that didn't end up happening. Which I can't say I'm glad, you know what I mean? Because, fuck that mall.
Well,
dude.
up here in New York, like right before all the riots went down on Fordham, someone from my block was like, yo, we're about to go break in the Best Buy. And like literally 2 days later, like that's when everything went down off the whole Fordham. Best Buy was already on top of it. They were already boarded up and all that. They were already shut down anyway because the pandemic. But when the riots hit, it's like I think people tried to break in actually, because I still see some of the glass like boarded up. It's like weird.
Yeah, and it's you can't tell who's boarding up to prevent stuff from happening or who's boarding up because stuff already happened to them. You know, before I even went down to Florida, I'm in my crib and my roommate, he's on the phone with one of his homies and he's talking about, yeah, man, I got all these fucking Supreme headbands. Soho is totally fucking destroyed. I got so much shit, shoes and shit. I'm selling shit right now. When I hear that, first thing I think is, I gotta get some headbands. So we prepared to go to one of these, not riots but protests, you know what I mean? But I was prepared for it to be a riot. Not gonna lie, my personal opinion on it is you gotta make noise if you want to have a voice sometimes, especially in this place. People don't give a fuck,
and people look at it like, all right, violence against cops and like even like innocent people, you know what? Sometimes collateral damage is just worth it because like there's
in the long
too
run,
many people victimized already, and they need to make a statement. Sometimes actions do speak louder than words, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's very true. Yeah,
you know, it's like it's weird. Like I had to do a report in school when I was young about who do I think went about bringing racial equality to this country in a better way, Martin Luther King or the Black Panthers?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that is
you know,
a fucking
like
great question.
Mixed Caucasian, Native American, so I'm like light skinned. Like, and when I wrote my report about siding with the Black Panthers, just because I feel like what a lot of like black people, African Americans dealt with, like the whole slavery, because I'm Native American, I feel crazy some type of way about that, you know? And
even just as a human being
of others, you know, like I feel the pain of others, and I would just like come on, how many like black people were fucking whipped and tortured and for that to happen? I mean, God bless MLK for doing what he did to actually make that difference. I feel like it was a long shot and he literally had to die for that. Yeah. But I mean, Black Panthers was also necessary as it is, because if they like sometimes being too nice doesn't get you anything, you know?
Yeah, and another thing though about like the Black Panthers that people forget is that the Black Panthers never, like people called them militant and they responded to it just essentially by just being, what do you want us to do? You know, like what is militant to you? The Black Panthers never really ever did anything violent to anybody. You know, they just stood outside of courtrooms with guns and had guns and trained themselves and trained their minds,
you know. But
yeah, it was angry protesting, but even aggressive, I feel like, is like, in order for there to be at least like notable aggression. There has to be like some kind of violence going on, you know. And there's no violence in the Black Panthers.
It's all necessary, you know? But if it's happening numerous types of ways, just how it's happening today, some people are doing it peaceful, some people are doing it chaotic. Yeah. I feel like both are necessary.
Both are necessary.
Both
yeah.
are necessary.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
one of the things, man, for me is like all right. I went to a protest, right, in Manhattan, like Midtown Manhattan, and I guess our plan was to get from Midtown to Harlem, to the hood, right. All kinds of people out there, really all young people, black, white, everybody's out there. It was the most organized public event that I've been a part of.
Coming down Fordham, it was like 3,000 people marching.
Thousands of people marching in the streets. Yeah. Bikes doing reconnaissance on one side of the street.
Were shutting down
skateboards
all the
going in and out of Central Park. And they started trying to herd us, like, away from the direction that we were going and corral us into some area so that they could cut the protest off before the curfew. Because you remember, they started trying to use curfews, like imposing curfews to keep people from protesting.
Yeah.
And we were like, fuck that.
No one listened to that.
We run these streets.
I was bullshit. And
so we had to run from them multiple times, like throughout the protest.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we literally had to start strategizing.
Them.
Yeah, but we knew that if we let them get control of the situation, well, this is how I felt. If we let them get control of the situation, they can make of it what they will. So whether they do anything to us is one thing, but whether they take, you know, us running and then put us in a certain area and try to turn it into violence or make a different narrative out of it is important. You know what I mean? I think that's very important because that's what goes on the news. This is New York City. All of this shit is going on the news in some way, shape, or form. You know, this isn't like other places in the country, and so we
everywhere. You can't really hide the truth that much.
They had drones in the sky. It was an intense experience. You know, it was one of the most intense experiences I've ever had in my life because I really felt like, for one, this is history that's being made right now. You know, and people have opportunities to say that at various times in life, right? But it's never really as real as that. This year alone is one of the most historical years. It's definitely the most historical year that anyone in our generation can quote.
I just hope things get better, man. There's just too much shit going on in the world, and it's just crazy. It's an insane fucking world we're living in. I spent New Year's Eve this year, turning 2020, entering a new decade, and it was beautiful. The first 2 months were great.
Yeah.
And everything went to shit, and I really pray things will get back to normal. Like, you know, me being a DJ, like, work's been hard and like all that, but I have been doing things. I got my shirt that says "Save the Dance Floor." You heard that, people? Hashtag save the dance floor if that's what you believe in. Like, that's one thing that's really in danger right now with all this social distancing and all this stuff, you know? And I feel like just like everything is changing so rapidly that I don't even want to keep this session about right now, and I want to keep it more timeless. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get on these decks right now and mix up a mix that's pretty much timeless, of timeless hits mixed up my way, Luca Knight style, ChillBuzz style. Shit's going to be fire as fuck. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, people.
I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you.
Oh, I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. And I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you.
Dirty bit.
I just wanna take some shots.
So come on, let's go. Let's lose control. Let's do it all night till we can't do it no more.
Keep on rocking to the sound. Turn it up and watch it pound. We gon' rock it to the top until the roof come burning down.
Yeah, it's hot in her. The temperature has got these ladies getting freaky.
I got freaky, freaky, baby. I was chilling with my lady. I didn't come to get bougie. I came here to get crazy. I was born to get wild. That's my style. If you didn't know that, well, baby, now you know now. I'm having a good time with you. I'm telling you.
And I never felt this way before. And I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you.
Oh, I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. And I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you.
All these girls, they like my swagger. They calling me Mick Jagger. I be rolling like the Stone Jet, set a jet lagger. We ain't messing with no maggots, messing with the baddest chicks in the club. Honey, what's up? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the baddest of them all? Yes, gotta be the Apple, I'm the Mac. Daddy, y'all haters better step back. Ladies, download your app. I'm the party application rocking just like that.
This is true, and I owe it all to you.
Oh, I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. And I swear this is true, and I owe it all to you.
I had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before. And I swear this is true, and
And since I made it here, I can make it anywhere. Yeah, they love me everywhere. I used to cop in Harlem. All of my Dominicanos right there on Broadway. Pull me back to that McDonald's, took it to my stash spot, 560 State Street. Catch me in the kitchen like the Simmons whipping pastry. Cruising down 8th Street, off-white Lexus. Driving so slow when BK is from Texas. DM up at Bed-Stuy, home of that boy Biggie. Now I live on Billboard, and I brought my boys with me. Say what up to Tata, still sipping my top. Sitting courtside, Nixon Nets give me high five. Nigga, I be spiked out, I can trip a referee. Tell by my attitude that I most definitely from. That I most definitely from. the X with OG, got a Yankee king. Shit, I made the Yankee hat more famous than a Yankee king. You should know I bleed blue, but I ain't a crypto. But I got a gang of niggas walking with my click though. Welcome to the melting pot. Corners will be selling rock. Africa been by the shit. Home of the hip hop. Yellow cap, gypsy cap, dollar cap, holla back. We're foreigners and they act like they forgot how to act. 8 million stories out there in the naked city. It's a pity half of y'all won't make it. Me, I got a plug special red, I got it made. If she's paying LeBron, I'm paying Dwayne Wade. Dice CeeLo, 3 Card Marley, Table Day Parade, rest in peace, Bob Marley. Statue of Liberty, long live the World Trade, long live the King, yo. I'm from the Empire State.
Welcome back to ChillBuzz Radio, people. I hope you enjoy them fire-ass tracks. I killed that set. Y'all know it. Catch me out at all the underground parties in New York City. Hit me up on my private number, the ChillBuzz Radio number, 929-575-9211, and I'll let you know where all the underground parties are. Only me, Luca Knight, can put you on to the underground nightlife that is happening in New York City, because I'm saving the dance floor along with many of my other DJ heroes. But besides that, we're gonna get back to discussion. You were telling me something about the whole Chinese calendar and like how that
Chinese calendar. That's that Chinese New Year shit, man. That Chinese zodiac shit. My year is the year of the rat, which happens to be 2020, which is also the year that all this crazy shit is going on, which is what we were talking about earlier. And just to move away from that, it makes you think like it's kind of weird how accurate that zodiac shit is, because it said that everything that was supposed to happen this year happened. So what does that mean for the years to come? Exactly. Well, when I read it, it was touching on how it was an unlucky year. And it kind of alluded to the vibe that a lot of people were going to be losing business opportunities, right? And how there was going to be a lot of holding back this year, right? And so that you should go along with it because it's going to happen anyway. So to me, that's exactly what this virus sounds like. It's like you can fight against it if you want to. You can say fuck the virus. You can say fuck the quarantine and all that good shit. But no matter how you twist it, you can only do so much. And that says a lot about the Chinese zodiac and just the zodiac in general, like how accurate that shit is, you know. And people still to this very day, they use the horoscopes. People get into the shit. It hasn't fallen out of favor, even though it's supposed to be like pseudoscience, you know what I mean?
Did
but
it's kind of say that things will turn out all right, or?
Not this year, not until the next turnaround.
I hope it does soon, man. Like, yeah. Another calendar that I have experience with was the Mayan calendar. Yeah. And you know how they predicted that the world would end 2012 and all that? I mean, we had Hurricane Sandy, which was like really fucked up to New York. I know that fucked up my Halloween.
I didn't even
sucked.
know that they had hurricanes in New York.
Yeah, well, it happened in 2012. But that was the closest thing to the apocalypse we actually had. But other than that, I actually had an awesome year. It was one of the best years of my life, 2012. So I'm glad the Mayans are wrong about that. Maybe they were off a little. I mean, I hope it's not catching up now.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Some people say the world really did end in 2012. It's just
how was your 2012?
I actually did a tour in Maya in 2012. I was like a DJ when I was 7 years old. No, I'm fucking around. Shouts out to the people, man, who keep track of the podcast, man, who are up on all the episodes. Keep watching, keep doing your thing. 2012, I don't know. For 2012, what was going on that year?
Yo, 2012, I could tell you this. 2012, I fucked the most bitches in 2012.
Yeah.
And my DJ career was on fire. I was doing so much big moves, like more than I am now in like even recent years. That year was pretty fire for me. Like, I don't know. Like, it just, things worked out, you know? I mean, I do get pussy, but like, it's not always the best pussy. It's not the pussy I got back then, you know?
Yeah. Trying to get some 2012 pussy this year. Yeah.
But it's hard, man. Like, I mean, like, girls these days are scared. I'm scared to go near them. It's like all this crazy shit. But I miss back in the good old days before face masks and shit. I hope we can get back to that in the future. You know, I hope what we learned from all this bullshit helps us build a better future. You know, because I truly believe that like we're capable of doing that. Maybe the system we have needs to be destroyed for us to build something better. You know, maybe we almost have to be extinct to really wake the fuck up. And
that's what that shit is starting to look like, man.
Ignore the bullshit, a lot of the materialistic stuff. You know, it's like when I was young and like a rapper and like conceited and thought my dick was bigger than my ego. Like I was just, you know,
your dick is smaller than your ego.
I thought my well,
where did that come from?
I have a big ego. I had a big ego. Like I would like just, you know, like just money, you know, and I don't really think like that anymore. Like, you know, it's like psychedelics will do a number on you, you know, like they kind of open your mind more to like what's important. And, you know, now I don't do nowhere as much drugs, you know. I mean, we did a little something today. I kind of honestly wish we had a little bit more snowflakes falling on us here in August. That would be pretty nice. But I'm not the party animal I am like I used to be. I get more of a high from DJing and seeing like the younger generation party and like live the times of their life like I did when I was their age, you know. But psychedelics is one thing I definitely love doing, you know. It's like just a good, there's nothing like a good trip. It's so spiritual. I don't even consider it a drug really, you know.
Yeah, man, it's kind of hard to call something like that a drug, man, when you consider like what most drugs, you know, are and what people have seen drugs as, you know. Which, don't get me wrong, man, acid is fun. Mushrooms are fun. Psychedelics are fucking fun.
You ever did DMT?
Fun like, I did DMT for like 7 days straight all the time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just trying to get a breakthrough, which I didn't get.
Really?
But, yeah, nah. The whole time I didn't get one.
Oh my. What's the furthest you got?
The furthest I got was like a like deep type of hallucination, man. It was crazy. It was like I was in my room. This is a time when I had my first apartment. Nice ass apartment and shit, and I had a whole bunch of people over and shit like that, and it was the first time doing DMT, the first time it hit the hardest. And I didn't even know about this shit. Like I didn't know what the ratio was of like how often you can do it or whatever, but I hit the shit or whatever, and I had a tapestry like in my room right behind my bed where I was sitting at. And I remember leaning back and forth, like seeing the tapestry, but it was in front of me, but I was like leaning back and seeing it. And every time that I leaned back to see it, it was just doing crazy shit. Like all the wheels were turning on it, the flames were. Though. But I was here. Yeah. I wasn't just.
I had some trips that I was somewhere else. Yeah. Like I actually.
But I was really somewhere else because I woke up. I came from the DMT experience that I had, right? A little couple minutes, whatever it may be. And I'm like, oh shit, that shit was like, I felt awkward. Like I was getting up back and forth, but couldn't help myself. So I'm thinking like, whatever. I say this to them, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you didn't move the whole time.
Yeah.
So that's what that was.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was, but that wasn't, you know, the shit that you hear people talk about, seeing elves and fucking grass tall as, like, all that crazy shit didn't happen.
It can happen. I mean, I was on DMT once, mark my words. You see all these, like, colored lights around your room.
Yeah.
Like, I did it around a bunch of trippy shit like that. And I did this DMT, and, like, I was with, like, my friend that, like, really knew how to, like, help someone smoke it. And, like, if you're not smoking enough, he'll press you, like, keep smoking, hold it in, inhale, like, you know, keep smoking.
Yeah.
And, like,
I did all that
really
shit, bro.
blast off. And I had a lot of good trips that were peaceful. Like, I've seen, like, my father's face in clouds in the sky. It looked so heavenly.
Yeah.
I've also shot through a dark tunnel, but it was also kind of like a nice experience. I saw a lot of geometric patterns and, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but this one experience, I actually got my ass kicked by some weird glowing entity. Like, all the colored things in the room started to spin in a cyclone, and it was like a tornado of all this colored trippy things. Oh yeah, and my friend put a certain frequency from YouTube that activates it more.
Oh man.
And I just blasted off crazy, and all the colored things in the room spin together and made like a cyclone, which turned into like basically like a genie. You know how a genie has like no legs, but they have like a body and like arms and a head?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of looked like. It had like an upper like humanoid figure, but the bottom was like still like a cyclone, you know? And then little by little it grew legs. The cyclone grew into legs.
Yeah, so now he's ready to kick some ass.
Started punching me in the face, beating the shit out of me. So yeah, you can see shit. I'm telling you, I've seen it. It started beating the shit out of me, and in real time, like my friend's just sitting me there watching me cough, like like I'm bending over coughing, and I'm spitting up all over. Yeah, I felt all that shit, but I'm coughing every time. So it's like maybe my body was feeling the cough. I don't know, but I know I was experiencing that. And this genie beat the shit out of me, like 5-6 hard hits, and then just ran behind me. And for like 2-3 minutes after that, when I started to come back, I'm just like, I have like spit all over me because I'm like coughing up and like all that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, give me another fucking hit. I gotta get back in there and fucking kick this dude's ass, bro. Bro, I would have took another hit, bro. Nah, you can't get me like that. I gotta jump back in there.
It gets
I gotta get back in there.
I tripped my brother. I did mushrooms with my brother a few days ago.
Yeah.
And basically, I mean, it was a moderate trip for me, mushroom trip, like whatever, but it was his first time. And he literally said he went up to heaven, and he kept, because I noticed he kept saying, I didn't do it, it wasn't me, and he felt like people were like judging him. He said he went up to heaven and like he was like arguing with them about getting in, and they didn't let him in, and that's when he came back and he's like, oh shit, I'm back. I'm like, what are you talking about? You didn't go anywhere. Like, you know, but I was like good, like, you know, I'm like kind of used to it, but I didn't blast. I guess that was his first time, so you know, I know my first time I did a little amount and I was gone, you know, but you can't get used to it, like, you know. But
that's crazy, man. Like, I was gonna say, like, I never really heard of like the spirit world really like doing you dirty like that, but I remember like at least Joe Rogan, that very not famous dude, was talking about how he was getting flicked off by like jesters and shit in his DMT trip. Every DMT trip that I've heard about, like a lot of them,
some
at
of
least,
them are bad. It's all
they
about
sound
the
like it's like a cruel
My most
joke.
beautiful trip was like a nice, peaceful park, like a nice, beautiful day, sitting in the grass, and that was the best trip, you know.
Yeah.
But if you do it like in the wrong environment, and if you rush it, you know, it's like, I don't know, you got to take your time. It's like very spiritual, you know. But
yeah, man, one of my best trips was when I got some pussy on acid. It's definitely not happening on DMT. Like, I feel like if you get some pussy on DMT,
acid,
you're not coming back.
Shrooms you can, like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, like, shrooms, that shit gets me sedated, bro. That shit gets me sedated from my experience, unless I take a little bit. But I remember one time I came from this crazy ass trip to Miami, like this 3-day trip, and I was fucking doing ecstasy the whole goddamn time. And I come back, we hadn't slept whatsoever, and we had these shrooms saved from the trip. And I don't know why we felt like we had to do that shit right then, but we did that shit.
And that was a bad trip, probably.
it wasn't even a bad trip. It was just like the combination of being so fucking tired and being on shrooms, which you really can't sleep on. I couldn't move at all. So I'm just like in this bed in my homegirl Ann's house, like locked in, like fingers, everything is just like locked in. Yeah. But I know it's not because like the drug is doing it to me. It's just like I'm done. But my brain is totally fucking on. So it was like I was in like a psychedelic coma. You know what I mean? And that's probably the closest like to maybe like what I expected the DMT trip to be. Like that's the closest to what I expected it to be. Was that right there? Like I was totally out of it, couldn't move. I might as well have been in a whole different place. Lights were off. I'm just seeing shit, just seeing fractals and geometrics the whole time.
Yeah, shit is pretty much, it's intense shit. Like, I honestly probably had enough psychedelic experiences that I'm good. Like, I had everything. I just do it now for fun. Yeah. It's not going to teach me anything I don't really, like, already know at this point.
Hey, you take enough shit.
I suggest people, New York, America, planet Earth, I strongly suggest before you die, it doesn't have to be today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. But at least one time in your life, try it. It's going to open your mind up. Yeah. You know, and follow your dreams. Like, you know, like right now is the time to like have a reset on life. If shit was fucked up before, maybe now it's your time, you know? Yeah. Make something happen. Like we're over here trying to be like the next like Joe Rogan and just with this whole other element of just us and the way we do it. You know, I'm over here basically being Luca Knight, I'm being Joe Rogan and Jamie at the same time.
At the same fucking time.
We were talking before,
Mix
like, yo, like Jamie is on every episode. Wouldn't it be so cool if he had his own episode?
If he could actually be on the episode,
like,
for
one
one time.
Joe Rogan Experience with Jamie from Joe Rogan Experience.
They don't even show his face.
Yeah, you barely ever see him.
But when I have seen it, don't nobody really want to see that.
But it's like, I don't know. Like, I give him props, man, because this stuff is hard. Like, what I'm doing right now, because I'm like watching doing all the mixing and all that, but he does all that plus like searches on YouTube and like all this crazy stuff, you know. It's crazy, man. Like but just gotta keep.
Hey, by the way, Jamie,
pushing,
you need to show those fucking clips, man. Stop blocking them goddamn clips out. I don't give a fuck what it is. If it's a gorilla ripping the head off a goddamn deer, ripping its antlers off,
that's
you
what
gotta
I like
let us
about
know.
that, because like, you know, I mean, he blocks the clips because of copyright issues, but they really have no limits, you know. And it kind of was like an inspiration for like this show. It's like, you know, just talk about anything, like literally fucking anything. Like, you know. It is what it is, like, you know, like there's like so much shit, it's endless basically.
Yeah, man. And I feel like, you know, for all of those out there who are thinking about podcasting, because I know nowadays, you know, podcasting is almost like the new, you know, the new rap when it was accessible for the internet, because, you know, it really is so accessible, you know, and it's anything that you can talk about. You can have a podcast that's about something specifically, episodes that are about something specifically, or you can go all over the place like Joe Rogan and a lot of other people have. And it's every format works.
And this is the time to do it, because a lot of people are stuck in their fucking houses and just on the internet looking for something to be entertained with. You know, that's
looking at pornography, comments
for humor. We try to just bring like the rawest shit, like whatever. Like, I don't care. I mean, I'm not out here to offend anyone, but if you get offended, I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
Except if you play Xbox and we don't give a fuck.
You know, but
we're gonna lose all our Xbox fans.
Why? What do you have? What's your beef for Xbox? Man, I have a Switch and a PS4. I actually love Xbox. I just don't have one. The new system, Xbox Series X, that shit sounds so stupid. Like, it's already Xbox. Now you have,
and then they add the X.
Series X.
So like, then the next thing they're gonna do, they're gonna have a fucking Xbox with 3 cameras on it, like that redundant ass iPhone. That's where they're at now. That's what they gotta do to compete with PS4.
Are gonna be like, you know, like I hope we look back at all this shit and like we have like a bright future. I hope 2030 the world isn't falling apart. You know, like I hope we actually have like crazy awesome technology.
Yeah,
and like
Z boxes and
like
all
just,
kinds
like,
of
I
shit.
don't know,
3
like,
boxes.
It goes so many different ways, you know. It's like things improve every year, and like just like if you look like over the years, like how things change, how everything's changed, and like just information is accessible. Who would have thought we could just go on a phone and type in anything, and in a matter of seconds we know the answer to any question? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like that's so much power in like anyone's hands. And like I feel like if they just keep escalating it up and like people put their fucking bullshit differences to the side and just like focus on a greater good of like doing better for the world and everyone in it, without fucking just bullshit self-centered assholes like wanting to think it's their world. No, it's everyone's fucking world, you know?
Yeah.
Like fucking I'm tired of the government dictating us and all this shit. Like I respect like things need to open up slower little by little, but it's like
It's getting out of hand at this
it
point.
is getting out of hand. It's like come on, like, and they want people to sit home, but none of like the shows and the movies and like all the production on all of the entertainment that we would be entertained by
It's
at
all
home.
shutting
It's
down
all
now.
like postponed and getting
Yeah.
delayed. None of the movies are coming out.
Yeah.
Like Black Widow didn't come out. Like the Fast and Furious movie didn't come out.
I'm tired of Fast
Like-
and Furious, bro. I'm sorry. I'm tired of it. I can't do it anymore.
I actually like those movies. I know they're
I like
kind
the
of like
after
crazy.
after
but,
your boy
but they're-
died. It's just like I couldn't go on, man. I couldn't go
mean,
on.
they're
It
still
couldn't
good,
draw me
man.
in after
They're
that.
still good. Like I love
Yeah.
that one scene in the Fast and Furious 8 when The Rock and your boy Jason Statham, the transporter, you know.
Oh yeah, Jason Statham.
When
Yeah.
they were both in jail and they were pounding the fucking jail cell doors, and they like were in jail, hating each other, could see each other across the cells, and they both broke the fucking doors open, just to fight each other.
Oh, that sounds
And the
fucking
whole
good.
like all the boys come in and like swarm and like trying to take them down. And while they're fighting each other, they're beating up all the cops. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just as an
that's fucking
ex-drug
badass,
dealer,
yeah.
as an ex-criminal,
Yeah.
that just sparked my fuse.
Yeah.
Like, I was happy to see, like,
Yeah.
The Rock and the transporter beat up all them cops while fighting each other.
Yeah. That sounds like some gas shit.
So it's like, you know, it's like, it's good. Like I mean, like, all movies like that are good. They do kind of get out of hand, but I mean, I love it. Like, I don't know if you saw that show Money Heist.
I've been missing out on so
It's
many
from,
movies,
it's
man.
a
I haven't
Netflix
seen
series.
shit.
It's like made out of Spain, so it's like recorded in Spanish, but it has like the dubbed like English like words like over it. But it's kind of silly. Like, there's parts in it where it's like, no, that would never happen. But it's like entertaining. The action is there. Like, everything is there. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's fire. You know, it's like just kind of like Fast and Furious. Like some things, it's
Kinda like
come
real
on,
life
Like, that
shit.
would never happen. A lot of the things like in movies that people would never think would happen are happening in real life. Like, you
Yeah.
ever saw that movie Contagion?
Oh yeah, which makes so much
Basically
sense.
what we dealt with.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
and then the riots happen, and that's the fucking purge.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's
Everything
like
on
we're
The
living
Simpsons-
fucking movies.
Yeah, and we've been doing that for a while now, and it just makes you think, like, is that really like where we should look for like what's coming up in the future?
Well, I
If
mean,
they come out with a
yeah,
movie about-
kind of, because movies, like, even like just thought up movies, they're thought up from something.
Yeah.
And like that
They're thought up
idea
from
can manifest
expectations
into
of the
something,
public.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, it could go so far, you know? But we're gonna get a little bit more back into that when we get back. I'm gonna play another fire set that y'all are definitely gonna fucking love. So fucking don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. ChillBuzz Radio.
And we out.
This is the remix. Montana.
ChillBuzz, baby.
Shorty got potential, I could be a sponsor.
Hey.
Met her backstage at the stage at the concert. Hair like Rihanna, shoe game was awesome.
Hey.
Tell by Ori, she want a shot call. Wanna be with a baller, shot call.
Hey.
Tell by Ori, she want a shot call. Wanna be with a baller, shot call.
Hey.
Tell by Ori, she want a shot call.
me. Don't add me or DM me. Everything is crispy. Yeah, even the gun fresh. Shorty had the wedge heels on. With the sundress. Shorty got potential. I could be a sponsor. Whipping in the European. Blowing up in Yonkers. Lunch by the water. Fucking with a mobster. I lay her down like she fucking with a chopper. Biggie in the stereo. Baby, baby. Dolce and Gabbana girls pushing my Mercedes. Hair and they nails done. Yeah, they was fancy. BVS diamonds. Not from Delancey. Probably from Jacob. Lorena Tiffany. Felt it even more cause she chilled and blew the piff with me. Paid in full niggas like Rakim and Eric B. Bad bitches just like Mahogany and Ebony.
Dipping in the phantom. Thought they seen a ghost. Try to live life, baby. Go and make a toast. All white drop head, just me and Flock. My new deal sweeter than piece of rock. I took over the streets, didn't miss a block. Did it for NY, baby, shot the big and pop. Can I hit it in the condo? Can I hit it in the morning like Alonzo? Shorty got potential, you would have to stand for. Ass like Nick, hair like Amber.
Boy, baby.
Coke boy till he bury me. R.I.P. the homie Heavy D.
Yeah, I'm feeling good like I just made bail. Went platinum in the year off of green weed sales. I could tell Shorty want a real nigga that's big in the hood and a hella big tipper. I be the skipper, I ain't the captain. I don't save hoes, I just fuck them in the Aston. I mean the rental, Shorty got potential. I made her ass scream over French instrumental. Ooh la la, ah oui oui, ça qu'a fait, mon chéri. Man, I like them, and them not like weed. But on my mama, pussy killer on my ID.
Shorty got
what up?
potential, I could be a sponsor. Nothing backstage, at the stage, at the concert. Hair like Rihanna, shoe game was awesome. But tell by Aura, she want a shot call. Wanna be with a baller, shot call. I could tell by Aura, she want a shot call. Wanna be with a baller, shot call. I could tell by Aura, she want a shot caller.
Shorty want a nigga with cash, a nigga pop the tags. Diamonds on the polo, trips to Fifth Ave. When the stun drop, bitch named Shaniqua. Said I hit the moms way back at the fever. Nigga use a lane, your whole team washed up. I be in the kitchen, #1 chief rocker. Money in the mattress, pussy from an actress. Joey put the X on, guess a nigga gassed it. I love Nicki Minaj, I heard she on the market. And I got that super bass, now how much can you profit? Fall don't ask us, everything foreign. We off for Cadillacs, rest in peace to
We going to Atlantic City, son, I'm feeling lucky. Just blew 30 grand, fuck it, I got money. Ooh, I'm getting paper, them broke niggas hate us. When we done the AC, we flying to Vegas, got a jump off with me. Her sex game proper, she look like Beyonce, but she act like Rihanna. I go round, round like Buster when he had dreads. I'm feeling myself like I'm Irv when he beat the feds. Shorty ready to roll after a drink or two. She gon' let me hit it, I ain't gon' take it like Mystical. Shorty down to do a menage. Blaming on the money, jewelry and cars.
I could be a sponsor. Nothing backstage, at the stage, at the concert. Hair like Rihanna, shoe game was awesome. Tell by Aura, she want a shot call. Wanna be with a baller, shot call. I could tell by Aura, she want a shot call. Wanna be with a baller, shot call. I could tell by Aura, she want a shot caller.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in axe and sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my gat? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest. These niggas is a mess. It don't take nothing but front for me to start something. Bucking and bucking at niggas like I was duck hunting. Dumbing out just me and my crew, cause all we wanna do is party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party. Wanna flex, who got the gat? It ain't hard to tell I'm the East Coast overdoser. Nigga, you're scared, you're supposed to. Nigga, I toast you. Put fear in your heart. Fuck up the party before it even starts. Is he drunk? Over Henny and skunk? On some brand Nubian shit, beating down punks? That's that. In the tight dress, I think I might just hit her with a little Biggie 101. How to tote a gun and have fun with Jamaican rum conversation. Blunts in rotation, my man Big Jock got the Glock in his waist and we're smoking, drinking. Got the hooker thinking, if money smell bad, then this nigga Big is stinking. Is it my charm? I got the hookers eating out my palm. She grabbed my arm and said, let's leave calm. I'm hitting skins again. Rolled up another blunt, bought a Heineken. Niggas start to loke out, a kid got choked out, blows was thrown, and a fucking fight broke out. Can't we just all get along so I can put hickeys on my chest like little Sean? Get a pissy drunk off a Dom Perignon, and it's on, and I'm gone, that's that.
Nothing on my team. Efforts for the family that's holding me down. I think you know who run this town. A is for the action I'm all about. Blow head off, kill all the doubt. B is for the big boys with the grown money. And bad who ain't gotta spend their own money. Shots of Tron are like phone to moan. It ain't over till it's over low, so I'm gone.
I stay on, they don't stay. Hey, my last call, don't hold your breath. Something out of nothing. Move a mountain and still keep running. Never come down, make no mistake. They can say, hey, and my end is on the horizon. When I wake, all I see is the sunrise. When the thought I said all there was to say, I get the last word. It ain't over till it's over.
Justice I did to the game. A lot of these that's on is lame. A's for the way I airs them out. Hoops by the twos, I pairs them out. D's for the that are still pumping. 12-hour shifts got the spot still jumping. Rocking on till the block is gone. 38 is snub nose, but the chopper's long.
You never get this time, so they say. But it's been on my side every day. Every second gone.
Now, what y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers, who be dipping in the Benz with the spoilers, on the low from the Jake and the Taurus, dipping in the Benz with the spoilers, dipping in the Benz with the spins with the dipping in the Benz with the spoilers, dipping in the Benz with the spins.
As we proceed to give you what you need, it's all wrapped up now. What the f*** y'all gonna do next?
Puffy, hold me down, baby.
It's all about the Benjamins, what? Yeah.
Like a do pull the trigger too.
My big head skills, crystal spill, my bills in Brazil. About a meal of ice grill, make it hard to figure me. Liquor be kicking me in my undercover. Johnny Brasco, left my East Coast girl, the Bentley, the twirl. My West Coast shorty, was the Chrome 740, rockin' red man and naughty. Hole with my kitty cat, half a brick of yay. In the bra with her that, and I'm living that. Whole life we push weight. The state Penn State is the closest Francis. The praying mantis, attack with the Mac. My left hand spit, right hand grip on the whip for the smooth getaway. Player haters get away on my lead wolf spray. Squeeze off till I'm empty. Don't tempt me, only to hell I send thee. All about the Benjis. 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 Only to hell I send thee. All about the Benjis.
Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, what? Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, what? Yeah.
Benjamins, baby. It's all about the 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 Benjamins, baby. Now help me chill, buzz.
You got the ashtray over there, right?
Mm-hmm. That makes me wonder, yo, on all those recordings, those old school recordings with Lil Wayne, where he started that thing where you flick the lighter in the song.
Like, oh yeah, that definitely influenced this.
Yeah,
that's a part of this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But what I would like, did he have an ashtray in the studio, or was he just ashing it on the floor?
I mean, either one is acceptable.
Yeah, either one is acceptable for him.
But
don't worry about what's in his cup. Don't worry about if it's an ashtray in his studio.
When you're Lil Wayne, you do whatever the fuck you want, and apparently when you're us, you also do too. Like,
hell yeah.
There's no limits with this, you know. Take a few pulls. But yeah, like the lights. What made you put them up like that?
Well, I know for one thing, I'm big on the lights, and I got my Christmas lights up against this wall. I got my black light up against the other wall. Right up against the roof, because I knew I wanted to have that kind of like big feeling going on in my room. Yeah, it's the real deal. If I was to turn out the Christmas lights, that everything white in this room is turning fucking purple.
Yeah,
some type of purple or blue. I'm really attracted to black lights, man. As a Scorpio, I feel like you ever been inside of the pet store and you see those scorpions under the UV ray?
Black light. Yeah.
And they're purple.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah.
Like I actually had
thing for me.
I don't know if you heard of glowfish.
Yeah,
but they're like
GMO fish.
Like genetic engineered fish that I guess they put a little put a little black light fluid in the fucking eggs or some shit, and they're born and they just glow up. So I had like a black light behind a fish tank with all the motherfuckers like swimming in there. It was awesome. I bought it like more for like the trippiness than the fish themselves.
Yeah. Like, that's really what you get those fish for, man. Don't nobody got love for no glowfish otherwise.
It was dope, yeah.
Where did they even stand in the animal
before
kingdom?
that, I just put black lighter fluid in like liquor bottles. And I made the bottles glow up.
Oh man, you just lit me.
And the girl,
that is what those bottles
I was
are for.
fucking with, the girl. Oh yeah. That's probably why you got them there. The girl I was fucking with, she worked at a pet shop, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you should get these glowfish. The fish glow up in the black." I'm like, "What? That they make that? That's a thing?" And Yeah, she brought me to the pet shop. Like, I actually drove her there. Like she used to like probably use me for the car or whatever, like that. But she was bad. Like, she was like some Playboy bunny bitch. Like, she could use me. It was worth it.
Yeah. If you're using me for your car, you gotta have that A1. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, her ass was crazy, and I kind of got like
you got lost in that.
When she got married. Like, I was kind of like not congratulative. Like, like on
bro,
some
if I had
like,
known you then, bro, we could have pulled some fucking Wedding Crasher shit,
why
bro.
didn't you marry me?
I would have been
you know?
Vince Vaughn, bro.
Wedding Crasher. Harold and Kumar shit. Like,
oh yeah.
Yo, did you see Harold and Kumar
Somebody's got
escape from Guantanamo Bay?
Fuck yeah, I've seen it. What?
I saw that with this girl the other night, and she was basically like, everything was good. We saw the first movie, White Castle. Everything was great. She loved it. Put on Guantanamo Bay. And then by the time it's at the pussy scene with the party with like all the pussies, she was just like, oh, I'm going to sleep. Got an attitude and just fell asleep. And then by the morning came, like, she just had some stink attitude in the morning. Like,
yeah, that's weird.
And just like got mad.
That's weird.
Just
like,
you know why? Because like while the scene was on, she's like looking at the girls like, oh, is that this actress? Oh, is that this person? And I'm like, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm not looking at faces right now.
Yeah. So yeah, that says now the real reason comes out.
But
why
I mean, do you want me to
did.
lie? Like, like I'm not gonna lie. And a part of me is my sense of humor. You know, like I'm with you. I'm not with them. They're on the screen, and I'm here with you. Like, it's a joke. If you say something about some guy being hot or whatever. I'm not
because that's what I was thinking. Like in the scene where they got him in the prison and they're on their knees, he's like, "You ever had a cock meat sandwich?" But if she was like, "I want one of those," I would have been a little bit salty. Like, yo,
like, oh,
she wants this fucking bald dude in fucking Guantanamo
Big Bob's
Bay.
taking care of that.
Yeah,
like,
she wants to fuck with Big Bob.
Bob's taking care of that.
Why don't you hop on the fucking TV screen and have what you want?
Thank you.
I was affected by that movie. I was deeply affected by. Not even the Guantanamo Bay one, but the White Castle one. And I'm going to tell you why. And I talk about this. This is a real deal. I talk about this all the time. The scene, right, where they're in the forest, right? I think they this is right before they get to the White Castle. And they're in the forest. They get chased down by this fucking cheetah, some type of mountain lion type thing, right? And Neil Patrick Harris comes through and saves the day, right? In a drop top full of fucking prostitutes. Or whatever they were, I don't know. Money was involved, pussy was involved, so these sex workers.
No, but that was Harold's car. He stole that from him.
Well, see, so the whole reason I like it is because, like, man, Neil Patrick Harris was such a great friend who came, like, just in the nick of time for them. But I totally forgot the fact that he stole his car. So there that goes for me. But still, the sentiment is there. Like, I always felt like, man, I either want to be that friend for somebody one day or just have that person. It's like, they're never up, but when you need them, you call them, they come through with a car that they stole from you filled with prostitutes.
Yeah, he was the man. Did you ever see the third one?
And everything.
Did you ever see the third one?
The third one?
Harold and Christmas. No, Harold and Kumar Christmas.
Oh, yeah, the Christmas one.
And that, because, like, when that movie came out, he was, like, gay. Like, he was, like, openly gay by that point. So it's like they made his character like he's still Neil Patrick Harris, but the fictional version is only acting like he's gay for like certain perks. Like, oh yeah, bitches love gay dudes or some shit like that. It's all an act. Like, it's just so I could get all the pussy I want or some shit. Like, that's how. So
it's like half real Neil Patrick Harris, and then
another movie. Like, they're finally making the third movie to make it a trilogy. That Bill and Ted Face the Music. I don't know if you know about that.
No, I know.
As a musician, as a rocker, you definitely should. It's basically like Keanu Reeves and some other no-name, basically, from back in the late 80s.
What? Keanu Reeves is in that shit?
Yeah, and they're like rocker kids starting a band, and they suck. But someone comes from the future. George Carlin actually comes from the future to like tell them, like, oh, you must do this or whatever. And the first machine is like about time travel. The second movie is about like interdimensional travel. And now the third one is just like probably like a little bit of both, but it's the big thing about it is it's 30 years after the first two. So it's like they're older now, and like like all the original cast is there except for George Carlin, God rest his soul. But it's
he's an OG
dope,
man who died
dope.
RIP.
Like they could have ended it off like part 2, but it's like I'm glad they made the third one. And I'm glad Keanu Reeves is still open to like different types of roles like that. You know, like he's more of like an action star, like
more serious
now,
stuff too. Yeah,
I like seeing the funny because if you saw those old movies, like definitely like as a watch those movies as soon as you can because the third one is like coming out like I think within the next 2 months or something.
Oh man, yeah. So I gotta catch up. I mean, bro, when it comes to just
like
rocker films
like
or music based,
you appreciate
type
psychedelics.
Stuff. Fuck
and
yeah.
you appreciate rock and roll specifically. You will love it. You will completely love it.
Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
It's dope.
And
like, it came out
Keanu
before
Reeves,
we were both
man,
born. But
what's his deal? Like he's such a unique just figure in Hollywood that I feel like is like almost unprecedented. The way that he carries himself and the roles that he does, and he stays low key in a weird way. It's like he's like the least superstar that there could be. Keanu Reeves, like he's almost like he's like a self-help guy too, almost on social media, but he doesn't really come out and say anything. He's just there, but he has all that.
Well,
effect.
I heard like he's like a really nice guy. Like he's extremely nice.
Yeah.
He's extremely good looking. All the girls are crazy about him.
Yeah.
And he like has a motorcycle collection and actually knows a lot of martial arts.
Yeah.
And it's just like he's just one of those all-rounded people that on top of it is just a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, like he'll like do like a good deeds left and right just cause, you know.
And he keeps it real.
So
he doesn't
it's
speak
like,
about
that's
it.
why
He's very serious.
it's like he's just an awesome person overall, you know.
Yeah.
Like he
Keanu
got
Reeves
it.
is definitely a legend.
They're
man.
making
He's
the
a
Matrix
living
4
legend.
too, man. I don't know if you heard about that. I don't know if you saw any of those films.
They probably took that shit off my feed or something. They probably buried it.
Matrix 4. Bro.
I don't even know how they can make a Matrix 4 nowadays. Like, shit is so dangerous to even speak on shit like that. Like the Matrix, trilogy already. Every conspiracy theorist person, they are inspired by that. So when you get to the fourth one,
fuck it up even more. But the rabbit hole is endless.
Yeah, it is endless.
That's what it comes down to.
But that's
so
what scares
you
me. Like,
keep on going in.
What can they say?
And I actually watched some YouTube conspiracy of like what they think is happening, and they're trying to say that the real world with Zion and all that is really just a higher level of the Matrix. And that is because you know how at the end of the last movie he used his powers in the real world?
Yeah.
They're trying to say that maybe like they're still all in the Matrix, and that would explain like people coming back and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Like we'll definitely like see how it turns out and everything.
It's crazy how like real life is starting to turn out like to be so similar to what the Matrix was, you know, or the basic idea what they were trying to put across, you know. Like a lot of people talk about the simulation stuff,
how it being more likely than not likely.
Yeah. And then you got aliens coming out. Just like, to me, I just get the vibe of like we're living in a reality where from the beginning of time we just started like making all these stories and fairy tales, maybe just to entertain each other, you know, or find out about
but it all
ourselves.
Came off of like,
and then it
like
all started to
sci-fi.
come true.
It comes from, I mean, it's fiction, but it's still built off of things that kind of make sense, you know. Like if you look at like any sci-fi film, nothing is completely really absurd.
Yeah.
You know. Like it's really not like unless it's just some silly cartoon or like whatever
like
it is.
Like Star Wars is kind of out there, but just like sci-fi thrillers, like the scary sci-fi stuff, it's always
stuff that
so
could be real.
Yeah,
it's like it
stuff
has you
on the
thinking
verge
like, you know what, that can actually happen. That might like be true. And like living in a simulation, like if you really think about it, like when you turn on a video game, Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
You're that avatar in that world moving around. You're
Grand Theft Auto
dealing with
thing.
all these people, and you're in that universe. You could do anything. You could go to sleep. You could watch TV. You could take out your phone, call a bitch, and fuck them. You could pick up a prostitute, bring them to an alley and fuck them. You know?
That's
like,
bro. I was literally just the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine about this, right? Because he brought up the simulation thing, and to me, I was just like, I can't.
But when you think about it, like, all right, the AI computers, they're like they could be like, they are somewhat AI. They are somewhat intelligent.
It's getting to the level.
And even us, we are the intelligence that's controlling those avatars. So what difference is that from the Matrix? If that's the Matrix and we're out here,
we're just
we're just holding a controller and don't have our brains hooked up to machines.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. But how far-fetched would it really be if this really was a simulation?
But to like, it's getting to the point to where it's really not. But with the GTA thing, right? Just for shits and giggles, this is my beef with it. GTA isn't close enough for me to real life, you know? Like, I get it, the map is realistic, you know, the motivations in the stuff is realistic, but you're controlling this person. Then somebody might say, okay, well, what if you're not controlling them? So then I imagine that you put the controller down, you put the joystick down, you turn off the PS4. If it's an Xbox, well, for one, you don't get to play GTA. For two, don't listen to this podcast. Just joking. But you turn everything off, and still CJ's just in this game, right? Like, the game doesn't really stop.
It doesn't.
He just resumes back to like what he's supposed to be doing when you play, but CJ just starts walking around. He just starts doing stuff, just traveling around the map, right? As if you were just like blindly playing the video game. But then you start to notice like, oh, maybe the stuff that CJ's doing is kind of like, what is he doing? What's CJ doing right now? Oh, CJ's going to do a drug deal. He's about to go rob this guy and take his car. CJ's about to go pick this prostitute up. He's going to go bang this prostitute. Now CJ's going to beat this fucking prostitute. And then he goes in his room and cries about it at the foot of his bed. And then the prostitute, she's just over in the corner with the little icon over her head, just like, you know, cruising around and shit like a video game prostitute would. And then you can tell she's like thinking like, man, should I go over there and talk to him? Maybe not, because he's probably going to beat me if I do, which he is. And she just like walks past him as he's crying and goes out the door. So she's doing whatever she's doing. And CJ's in this room just fucking crying because he knows he's a piece of shit and he freaking loves this bitch to death, and that's why he fucking hates her so much. And all this shit's going supposedly through his head, but it's like,
even if it wasn't built to go that way, who knows? Like, people build things and they just evolve on themselves.
Yeah, but that's like,
you know?
He would have to start to do non-GTA things.
Well, like
for it to really be like a simulation.
Well, this wasn't non-GTA things, but if you play GTA 5, it was kind of similar because you switch between 3 people the whole game, and if you randomly switch out to another character, they're doing some random thing in like Los Santos or wherever that basically is like what that character would do based on his personality, you know? Like if it's Trevor, like he'll be like laid out drunk in tidy whities on the floor on top of a building or some shit. You know, if it's like one of the other people, they're doing something more normal, like whatever, like chilling, maybe something illegal, maybe just relaxing at the crib, you know. But they'll just wander off and like do whatever, you know. But like that would be interesting to see them doing something that just, they weren't programmed.
Yeah,
that
just so like
kind of like some Toy
Trevor
Story,
just like gets his shit together and just tries to like actually get a job. Like he goes somewhere, gets some help making a resume. It's like, what the fuck is Trevor doing? And no one's making him do this, but it's like for it to feel, at least to me, like a real simulation, that has to happen. Because already, this is another thing people don't think about when they try to like compare video games to like a real life simulation. Is like real life is like so real, you know. Like you see any kind of tragedy happen, you hear some music play, that shit is so real on like 1,000 different levels and different dimensions that it's like you can't get that out of a video game character. You know what I mean?
It will eventually come, because like especially like the more technology evolves, people think that we are like living in a simulation. They're like almost certain that we actually are.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, we could still create simulations that kind of take on minds of their own.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of gets a little scary because like when you do that in the form of a robot, you know, like we've had podcasts about sex robots and all that. Yeah. But like just like more serious, like let's say like combat robots, like assault soldiers and stuff like that. That could backfire pretty crazy. Yeah. But if it's in the form of a video game on a disc in a console, like doing whatever, then you go back to that game and it's like things could have drastically changed. Like I would love to see that, because you could see them like go and remodel a building that was never like programmed for them to even have the ability to do.
And then it could even be crazy, because they could model a building and it's like, holy shit, I was talking to my friend last week about remodeling my house, but I don't know how. And this fucking video game CJ that I've been playing, you know, whenever I turn on my PS4, this dude just did the exact thing I was talking about, but he's AI, he's smart enough to do it. So now I know how. Like this AI thing just taught me how to do something that I couldn't think of. He had an idea that my human brain couldn't have.
But they could have been programmed that.
Yeah,
or,
and that's where it's different. Like, that's not a simulation to me. But people usually think about, oh, if we make AI robots, they're gonna turn on us. But what about all of the other implications of that shit? Like, for one,
how you program, because if we program them more to have minds of their own and free thought, like basically free will, you know, then we're kind of in trouble. But if we program to go stay in one line and only do one thing, we have to be specific with that, because they might follow certain orders that might fuck us in some way.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think the only way around that is like, don't let them even be able to do more. Like, if we just need you to do this one thing, you don't need legs for it. We don't give you legs. You don't need eyeballs. We need to be able to
switch them off at any time. You know, like we need a lot of like precautions, like setting, you know.
But then again, like sometimes, bro, you know, on some like technological tree hugger type shit, I feel like once you make AI and they're like really self-aware at a certain point, you know, for one, are they gonna be as fucked up as us? Cause like we could be like some kind of technology shit or whatever, but until we get to that point, we're not gonna assume that. We're monkeys, so that's why we're so fucked up, is because we're literally animals. We just have like civilized brains and stuff, but we're still running off the same animal shit, so we like, it's really hard for us to get our shit together, right? But this robot, they didn't come from any of that. They come from just pure logic and information about the world. So we don't even know what they're gonna do with that, or where they're gonna go from there, or what's the next level. And for two, we're kind of responsible for them at that point, are we not? Like, cause imagine if we're really, you know, a simulation, right? And the whole reason why people feel like that more and more is because the more we're able to make a real life simulation, the more we realize and have confirmation that, oh shit, real life just literally is just like what happens when you get to a certain level of technology to where you can create it. Like, you know, the whole God thing that we were talking about and thinking about, that was really us before us, and we're like this thing that we're doing right now. So imagine if they unplugged us because, you know, all the shit we're doing. Like, let us get it right first, you know what I mean?
What if we're like, there's some people who think it's as far as like we're just aliens playing a video game.
Yeah.
And this is the video game, you know? And
so like the simulation is for us, but we're like lesser versions of ourselves. Versetti,
they're us and we're the aliens playing the video game. Like, it'd be crazy so many different ways, man.
And that's scary, because it's like, man, what are they? If we're like CJ to them, then what the fuck are they going through? You know, like what the fuck is their music? Because Jimi Hendrix is in this simulation. You know what I mean? Like every like Van Gogh is in this simulation. Like all that shit is here. Whoever made the fucking like White House and the Sistine Chapel and all that good shit, those people were in this simulation, right? CJ ain't doing no shit like that, but they got stuff in there. But that's all inspired off of like our shit. Like, what are they going through if that's what's in this? You know, like that's so intense. Like, how much more real could life get?
We never know, man. We don't know what was before this, what's after. Like, there's so much we don't know. And you know, like on that note, let's get to some music. Y'all gonna love these jams that I'm about to mix up right now.
Let's pump it up,
we'll be back shortly, okay? Don't go nowhere. ChillBuzz Radio.
Menage a trois, set them skills from cars. I still need you on the daily. Car don't pay for, no car payment. Not a payment, no for the payment. The board is tied up in the Brooklyn basement. Face it, like gypsy. That's how I stay feel like richer than riches. So you never come and get them on, 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 get
Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. This is what I broke in your soul, baby. Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. This is what I broke in your soul, baby. This is what I broke in your soul, baby. This is what I broke in your soul, baby. This is what I broke in your soul, baby. This is what I broke in your soul, baby.
Baby side to side as it begins high. Baby side to side as it begins high. That Brooklyn bullish, we on it.
Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. This is what I broke in your soul, baby. Can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me, and I just love your flashy ways. This is what I broke in your soul, baby.
Begins high, begins high, begins high, begins high, begins high. The Brooklyn bullish, we on it. BBC, the word was our chief. Every cutie with the booty, with the coochie. Every cutie with the booty, with the coochie. Every DC, your bird was our teacher. Every cutie with the booty, with the coochie. DC, your bird was our teacher. Every cutie with the booty, with the coochie. DC, your bird was our teacher. DC, your bird was our teacher. Every cutie with the booty, with the coochie. Your bird was our teacher.
борту компьютеров персональный спутник.
I'm tired of getting caught up in those one night affairs. What I need is somebody who will always be there. Don't you promise me the world, all that I've already heard. This time for me, baby, actions be louder than words. If you're looking
Pierce in the house.
Welcome back to ChillBuzz Radio, people. We've spoke about so many things today, and I think it's time to really address the elephant in the room, the donkey in the den, the fat idiot Trump running for trying to keep his presidency, and Biden, who ex vice president Biden, who could barely even knows what planet he's on and can't even hold a real speech, like going at it to be the leaders of the free world. And I'm not voting. I kind of wanted to vote when there were more like realistic Democrats in the running, but ever since Bernie got knocked out, and say what you want about Bloomberg with that whole stop and frisk thing, but I think he would have been a good job as president. Better than Biden, better than Trump. Trump needs to go. Let's face that.
And then they knock Andrew Yang out of the race. They knock AOC out of the race.
It doesn't make sense. Why for Biden's sparkly pearly white teeth? Because he was Obama's vice president. I feel like someone's pulling his strings. Someone's definitely pulling his strings. He's Pinocchio. Yeah. And I don't know who Geppetto is, but like someone is.
I'll tell you who one master puppeteer is in this whole thing. And a lot of people might disagree with me when I say this, but I'm going to keep it 100% real and do nothing else. Matter of fact, 111% real, all ones. Couple commas in there too. My boy fucking Kanye West, you understand?
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
The rapper.
The rapper.
The producer.
The producer.
The genius.
The genius.
The gay fish.
The Kanye West.
Kanye for president, really?
Kanye for president.
He still thinks he
free
has a
fish
shot?
Dicks for everybody on welfare. We need this. We're at a time in this country, in this world, in this life, when we legitimately need Kanye to be the most powerful man on the planet.
Has he made any promises? What is his campaigning going like?
Well, for one thing, he made a recent campaign speech, and in the beginning of that already, he promised that the next campaign speech that he had will have much better acoustics. Obviously, because fucking Kanye, right? Like this is Watch the Throne.
Oh
this
my
is
God.
Jay-Z's right hand man. This is.
Is that who he's making vice president? Is that his running mate, Jay-Z?
Jay-Z's doing it all the way. Jay-Z's doing it all the way. No one else but Jay-Z can do it, just because of the simple fact that Kanye West is a fucking psycho, okay? And he can't be the president.
What can Kanye do that Donald Trump and Joe Biden can't? We know Trump has to go.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny seeing that fucking circus while it happened.
Yeah.
But there's a fucking pandemic and we just need him out. Like, he's just doing everything irresponsibly. But Biden, it's like, I believe in what he's saying, but I don't think it's coming from him. And I feel like he's just doing whatever the Democrats want to hear.
So
like saying things like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to pick a vice president who's a woman of color. If you want a woman of color, pick someone who's a woman of color. But when you say that, it just sounds racist. You know, it's like, oh, I'm going to exclude everyone else.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like
you know,
yeah,
why don't you just pick who you want off them being a good a good vice president?
But I mean, if he does want to pick a woman of color to be his VP,
just
then
do
he
it.
can't pick Terry Crews. Terry Crews is a perfect candidate who is a woman of color.
Oh
and he's a part of the Me Too movement. So he's a shoo-in for the position.
I'm just saying there's so many people. I believe in what he stands for, but I just don't trust him. I feel like when he gets in front of a podium and makes a speech to the whole world, he's going to embarrass this country.
Meanwhile, you have
forgetting
Kanye,
words and stuff.
Eloquent
Trump,
as he
we've had
is.
enough with that with Trump. And honestly, I mean, if
he can't give a good speech.
If Kanye was even realistic, I would probably vote for him. I might just do it just as a fucking statement. I mean, I'm a musical person.
You might be able to do something.
I don't really like
ChillBuzz
Kanye's
podcast.
current music as much. I'm more into the old school Kanye stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, along with like Jay-Z and like all that. I mean, they have like some decent stuff. It's like new, but their older shit was definitely fire.
Yeah. I feel like all the way up to
but
there's really not an album by Kanye
what can he do for America?
Well, for one,
since you're endorsing him right now, let's hear it.
Yeah. and I gotta endorse my boy just because.
ChillBuzz Radio for Kanye 2020.
2020.
Realistically, 2024, because let's be serious, it's not happening.
we got this going for Kanye, right? Just to start.
Oh, you think he has a chance this year?
I think he has a chance for the same reasons why Donald Trump had a chance when he started. And Kanye has an element about him that, despite what Trump did, Kanye is a different kind of phenomenon where you don't kind of have the same set of words.
All right, Trump got all the fucking racist redneck assholes who hate Mexicans to vote for him by promising this wall thing.
Yeah.
Does Kanye have like any like ultimate promise, or it's just
for the rednecks?
I'll get better acoustics. That's it. Is that all he's promising?
Well, we also got the fact that he is an amazing businessman, right? Has made some of the greatest, most controversial yet so effective business moves in his career that you really can't doubt the fact that if there's one thing the man knows how to do is get the job done, or at least a job done. And not just even a job, multiple jobs done. Fashion, music, other business ventures that a lot of us don't even know about. Some that we do. A lot of them that we do just because Kanye is all over the map and has been since he came out. When he was a young dude, almost a kid. Kanye is an American icon. He's an American treasure. Despite the kind of breakdown that he's going through right now. And you can see that at the campaign speech that he made. But he's a billionaire. One of the few billionaires
better for
in
the
music.
next election.
That's not easy to do.
He should definitely plan better. He should save his money. He should
Kanye
save his
West
billion.
has more money now than Donald Trump had when he, to his name, when he was running for the presidency, which is interesting. And then you got his VP, who's also a billionaire. They both became billionaires right around the same time. I think within their last 2 years.
But he should save his money, because the first time Trump ran, he lost. He dropped out. He wasted money.
Yeah.
Save his money right now. I mean, if you want to make a little statement, like whatever, spend a few bucks on that.
Yeah.
But save what you got and make the next one mean something.
We don't have that kind of time.
Is he running Republican or
We don't have that kind of
Democrat or
time.
just independent? Like, We don't have that kind of time.
No, we don't. We really don't.
You're
really
right. We don't.
22
But what does he have to offer? What is he gonna do? That, like, I know Biden is pretty much a fucking robotic puppet, but at least whoever's pulling the strings, I kind of like have a little faith in them.
Yeah.
What can Kanye do? I mean, I know he's the person.
Well,
I don't doubt he'll deliver an awesome
you gotta
speech.
remember hip-hop.
He might get impeached though. Like, you know, that might end up happening.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that.
That would be totally fine.
And
all he has to do is win.
Who's the president then? Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. And which we go back to, what can Kanye do? It's not about what Kanye can do. You got to remember, this is hip hop culture making its way into the White House. You know I ain't got a problem with that. We ain't got a problem with that here at the ChillBuzz podcast. We just need to make sure, what can you do for us? We got to answer that question. Well, you got to think.
Hey, Obama brought Jay-Z and
Beyonce
to the White House mad times.
Yeah, so
already started. The White House is a crazy place.
Conversations were had, and you got Jay-Z coming into the White House. You got Beyonce coming into the White House. You got Common, Swizz Beatz coming into the White House, right? Just to throw in a little bit of diversity, you got your boy, what's his producer's name? Mike Dean. He's hopping up in the White House. You feel me? Now, this is a team that we got right here. A crew, a clique, a posse, whatever you might want to call it. Now I'm saying the set, the whoop, whatever you want to call that shit. You got a bunch of heavy hitters, big money makers inside of the White House, all a diverse cast, which is what people are begging for right now. He's already coming by default with women of color.
What is the election, like a fucking reality show? Like,
that's been the case since
like sounds like a sitcom.
What was it? 2016 was it when that started? Somewhere around then. And we're doing a good job. Don't get me wrong. The economy, the coronavirus fucked it up, but the economy started to rise a little bit. I hear from what the Republicans say. I hear good things about what we've done recently. It's just the image is fucked up. The image is fucked up because of Donald Trump. It's too divided. A lot of people have a lot of good things to say. A lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about him. And whoever has something good to say about him is on his side. You know, there's no split. There's no, oh, I think this about him, but it's a good and bad. You don't see a lot of that, which is weird to me. But with Kanye West, one thing that we're definitely gonna get is we're gonna get something new. We're gonna get change. We're gonna get a new face.
Legalize drugs or some shit? Like, I mean, like,
he's definitely gonna legalize
prostitution.
He's gonna legalize like psychotic meds for sure, cause it's Kanye. So that's gonna be subsidized by the government. So everyone's gonna get their Ritalin. Everyone's gonna get their Adderall, Seroquel, and Concerta, and all that good stuff. Ambien, Xanax. So for sure, when it comes to the pharmaceuticals, as far as weed is concerned, he's probably not gonna legalize weed anytime soon. But we're already winning that fight. I don't think he's gonna get in the way of it. One thing he is gonna get in the way of is abortion. So all of you chicks out there who are holding or about to be holding, hold up. Kanye's coming. Okay. But yeah, man, no offense to
what about like foreign affairs? You think he's gonna be quick to push the big red button and send a fucking missile somewhere?
No, not Kanye. No. If anything, he's gonna be way better with the foreign affairs.
What if
DJ Khaled's gonna be in the White House
and the planes hit the towers while Kanye was president? How is he handling that shit?
If like another 9/11 happens,
yeah, something like that. Like, is he going to war? Is he gonna be more like, oh, let me think about this. Like, what am I doing? Or like even think about like the pandemic. Like right now, let's say he got elected. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna open stuff up? Is he gonna like keep things closed and be responsible?
Yeah.
Or is he gonna say, fuck it, I'm doing this concert and everyone's fucking coming, yo? Yeezy, you heard?
We might be able to look forward to some concerts. You feel me? Like some relief concerts if anything
Summer
goes
Jam's
down.
happening this year. I don't want to fucking hear it.
$70 tickets. You understand? $70 tickets just to keep it lucrative. But to be completely honest, he's got a cure-all. Jesus, Kanye understands the power of spirituality. He understands the power of faith and belief. Okay, which is a healing thing. Right now, we're losing a lot of some of those fundamental and traditional ideals that aren't really bad at heart, but are maybe just outdated in the way that they've been used and seen. And we could use a heavy dose of that, man. You know, one thing you got to remember is God, man. You can't let go of God. You just got to let go and let God. And Kanye West is what that looks like, people.
I mean, you like proved a good point in a lot of ways. I haven't heard any of his speeches or any of his campaigning, but
it's not
I've
over.
actually watched like Trump and Biden stuff just because I've been interested in like just because it's almost here and I kind of want to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
like
you
we're
want to see
dealing
him
with a
duke it
lot
out.
of shit. But I definitely want to look more into that, you know, and like even like on the next episode we could I will know by then.
Yeah.
And we'll
we're gonna keep you guys updated on this, man.
We're gonna my perspective on that, you know, but definitely like at this point, because I'm not voting, but I might just vote for Kanye just cause, you know, it's like fuck it.
Hey man.
Like I mean I know he's not winning this year, but next year whatever. But still, for the record, ChillBuzz Radio endorses Kanye West.
Kanye West, baby.
2020. Maybe really 2040, but
hopefully,
unrealistically 2020.
Hopefully.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't see his name on any of the polls or any of that stuff.
We got a couple more episodes to unfold this,
basically,
man, and I got my conspiracy theories of my own.
You were telling me that basically if they got elected, they would change the national anthem. And what I feel like making the song of the day is, you know, we can mix up some like awesome new remix of a song that includes the future president and vice
with the
president.
American flag in the background.
So here it is, song of the day, people. ChillBuzz Radio, DJ Luca Knight Freeway Frankie. Good night, New York. Good night, planet Earth.
Good night, y'all. Remember who invented swag.
ChillBuzz, baby.
Caesar, in a dark Caesar, we follow the leader. So everything we are, microphone fiend is the return of peace. Ain't think nobody pressure, I'm in Mason, Mark and Marcello on the table screaming, fuck the other side, they jealous. We got a banquet full of crowd, they got a table full of fellas. Yeah. And they ain't spinning no cake, they should know they hear niggas, they ain't got no faith. My whole team got no, so my bank credit's looking like millionaires, bro.
It's a game, but it's not fair. I break the rules, so I don't care. I keep doing my own thing, walking tall against the rain. Victories within the mile, almost there, don't give a shout. Only thing that's on my mind is who's on
your dick, no homo. I bought my whole family whips, no Vovos. Next time I'm in church, please, no photos.
Fire.
Escorts, everybody passports. This the life that everybody asks for. This a fast life, we are on a crash course. What you think I rap for? Push a fucking rap for. But I know that if I stay stunting, all these girls only gon' want one thing. I can spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good gon' come, cause it's good when I'm coming. She got an ass that'll swallow up a G-string. And up top, 2-piece thing. And I'm feasting off the re-sling. And my nigga just made it out the pre-scene. We give a damn about the drama that you do bring. I'm just trying to change the color on your mood ring. Reebok, baby, you need to try some new things. Have you ever had shoes without shoestrings? What's that, yay? Baby, these heels. Is that a made what? Baby, these reels. You tripping when you ain't sipping, have a refill. You're feeling like you're running, huh? Now you know how we feel.